Welcome to the second semifinals of Robot Wars Grand Champions. So far, you would have seen Chaos 2 flip out the opposition, and then Pussycat definitely retained all 9 of his lives.
The reigning champ Chaos 2 and upset-minded Pussycat are already in our finals. Which 2 warrior robots will face them? I'm your host, Joni, and it all comes down to this. Win now and you're 1 win from being crowned the champ. Lose and you become an afterthought. This is the semifinals of Robot Wars Grand Champions. Let's go down to the arena floor and kick it off.
All right, Joni. Chaos 2 and Pussycat are through to the finals. Who else is going to join them? We'll see 2 from this Botany crew, Splinter, and then Stinger with an awesome metal mashing axe. Or maybe Mousetrap with that big arm. Or Scutter with that pneumatic piercing spike. Or will it be the pits for them? Or will it be Wild Thing dishing out the destruction? How about Exterminator 2? They're looking hungry. Could be Panic Attack. And last but not least, Hypno-Disc. They're all looking hungry and ready to fight tonight. And here's the lineup for semifinal 2. We'll see Wild Thing and Exterminator, Hypno-Disc up against Splinter, Scutter and Panic Attack, but first up, Stinger and Mousetrap.
From Lincoln, seed number 13, Stinger.
Stinger, with an obvious 0 turning circle, has got all the electronics, receivers, batteries mounted in those wheels from a motorcycle.
This is the Stinger team. On my left is Carl, my right is Tim, and I'm Kevin Scott.
Next round, we're up against Mousetrap, but we're no mouse.
From Oxford and Bristol, the Mousetrap.
Hey, Mousetrap, made from steel and Lexan, it used to be an office desk and had a lot of parts from this scrapyard. These guys are powerful.
Hi, this is the Mousetrap. We are Team Mousetrap. This is my dad, Stan. I'm Jason. So this is the trap. As you can see, we picked up a bit of damage in the last battle against Little Fly. He also damaged our chain, took a couple of chunks out of the sprocket, so we've had to reweld the teeth. So I think we're ready to go to war.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Stinger, with Kevin Scott at the controls, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann by his side, and Mousetrap with Jason and Stan Launchbury.
3, 2, 1.
Stinger's got a real unusual tactic for battle here because he's got such speed and power and not much of a body to bite into. They're really a tough one to catch. But if anybody can do it, it's going to be Mousetrap with that big winged arm. Mousetrap on the attack and then retreating. And Stinger had better get a little side action on Mousetrap. That's going to be the most penetrating angle to hit that thing to maybe debilitate it, get some of the workings out of it. As Stinger gets a little too close to Shunt and his corner patrol zone, he doesn't want to be around that. If there's anybody that might inflict damage on Stinger, it would definitely be a housebot in this round, because the arm on Mousetrap doesn't seem like it'll be a force to slow Stinger down at all. Mousetrap's got some cable hanging out from the side, and it's not moving at all, so there's a possibility he's been immobilized, and here comes the housebots to let you know he's definitely immobilized. Shunt comes down in with the axe, and Kill-A-Lot with the pincers. And the audience is yelling for the pit. There goes the pit, and Kill-A-Lot's gonna escort him over to the hole. Somebody in the audience had resistance is futile on their sign. Well, I'll tell you, it is for Mousetrap. They are going down.
Cease.
And there it is, the first victim, Mousetrap. Stinger goes through to the next round. Next up, Scutter and Panic Attack.
From Grays in Essex and seeded number 10, Spawn of Scutter.
Scutter with a 3mm polycarbonate shell runs both ways up and has got a powerful pivoting defense ram.
This is the Spawn team at the semi-final stage, as we always knew we would be.
As you can see, the robots took a bit of a licking, but it's kept on ticking.
First thing Getterich in the second round gave us a few holes, but like any true Essex boy, we're hard as nails and we're ready for the rest of the competition.
From Cumbraun and seed number 4, Panic Attack.
Panic Attack with electric lifting forks. It's got shell of aluminum and polycarbonate and bulletproof fiberglass, but there's no bullets in Robot Wars. What's the point?
Hi, this is Panic Attack. I'm Michael, this is Christian, and this is Daddy.
Hello. We're back now from the last battle we had. We had to do a few repairs after Smitty damaged all the sides. We've changed all the stickers, we've beaten out the panels, we've changed the wheels, and we are now fully ready for our next battle.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Splinter Scutter with work buddies Darren Ball, Graham Warner, and Luke Jackman. And Panic Attack with the awesome driving skills of Kim Davies, joined by Michael Davies and Christian Bridge.
3, 2, 1.
Well, this ought to be a better battle than the one before. These guys both have extremely low center of gravity, and Panic Attack is showing him right now what those lift-in spikes can do. Splinter Scutter on the retreat, Splinter Scutter on a wheelie, is slammed into the rail by Panic Attack, and right into the corner patrol zone with Shunt. Shunt buries that axe, and Panic Attack isn't letting Splinter Scutter out. Not easily, anyway. Panic Attack definitely with the power here. Splinter Scutter's got to do something to stay in it to win it. Splinter Scutter seems to be doing that wheelie exercise quite well. And oh! Panic Attack is taking full advantage of that high-sided maneuver and putting straight up against the rails Splinter Scutter, who's got nowhere to go, and there's no correcting arm that's going to get him moving. Well, Dead Metal's going to try to correct him. And Shunt as well. Oh, it's a major correcting. And Sergeant Bash, Shunt, and Dead Metal come in there. What that means is that immobilization on Splinter Scutter's part is an open invitation for the housebot to come in and have a little burial. But not before a cremation, according to Sergeant Bash. Splinter Scutter on the edges. Dead Metal pushes him over. It's all over. Robo-tastic driving by Kim Davies for Panic Attack, and he knows it. So there it is, Splinter Scutter's history. Panic Attack go through. Next up, Hypno-Disc and Splinter after the break. Welcome back to Robot Wars. So far, we've seen Stinger dispatch Mousetrap, and Panic Attack wreak havoc on Splinter Scutter. So there it is, Stinger and Panic Attack goes through to the next round. Next up, Hypno-Disc and Splinter.
From Banbury and seeded number 2, Hypno-Disc.
Hypno-Disc with that awesome spinning disc. It's got teeth on the side that shreds anything in its way. These guys are ones to watch out for.
Hello, we're Team Hypno-Disc. We're through to the series semi-final. We've wiped away all 4 competitors so far. We've made a number of modifications on our way. One is to improve the traction on the front wheels, and the second is to weld the teeth on, so there shouldn't be any limit to the destruction on the way.
From Norwich, Splinter.
Splinter with wheelchair-powered claws. It's made of welded steel, and it's got a breakaway shell that should entice the likes of Hypno-Disc.
This is our robot Splinter. We just finished beating Kilohertz and Eric, and now we're back for action.
Yeah, unfortunately we've been drawn to fight against Hypno-Disc, which is a bit worrying as it's quite destructive. So we just see how we get on.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Hypno-Disc with Dave Rose at the controls, Derek Rose driving the disc, and Pops just sitting there watching. And Splinter with a father and son team of Stuart and Craig Waitman. Wow, open arms, Splinter comes charging into Hypno-Disc. Hypno-Disc got the wheel spinning, just tries to take a backside to Splinter. And Splinter may be the operative here if Hypno-Disc has anything to do with it. They really complement each other, these two designs. The swinging arm of Splinter, right as I said that, completely got discombobulated. Look at that. That disc of Hypno-Disc is an awesome force to be reckoned with. These guys can't handle it. Well, the Splinter is definitely flying off into splinters right now. Look at that junk hanging off of that thing. Well, Hypno-Disc is completely intact, but still wants to go in for some more. I don't think Splinter can take anymore. If the house spots start coming in now, it's not going to surprise me at all, because there doesn't seem to be an ounce of life left. Look at that compost heap. It makes you wonder if these guys would have had a different destiny if they hadn't named their robot Splinter. Could have been like a cinder block or a brick or something. They may still be in it. But unfortunately, Dead Metal and the rest of the house spots are going to make sure there's not one piece left that they can't fit through a 4-inch hoop. And the Waitman family are looking a little surprised, to say the least. Wow, we need a sweeper in here. Forget the house spots. Just got to get the debris out of there. Complete breakaway robot. They stuck to their namesake. Splinter goes to pieces as Hypno-Disc goes through. Next up, Wild Thing and Exterminator.
Which one of our robots will make it to the finals? You don't want to miss the conclusion to this historic brawl. Stick around.
Welcome back to Robot Wars, where you would have seen Stinger take out Mousetrap, then Panic Attack put Spawn and Scutter out of its misery, and of course, Splinter went to pieces, courtesy of Hypno-Disc. Which brings us to our last fight of round one of the semifinals, Wild Thing and Exterminator.
From Aldershot in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
Wild Thing with that multi-purpose lifting arm. It's a lifter, it's a lance, it's a self-righting mechanism, it's a floor wax, it's a dessert topping.
I'm Nick with Isabel and Jake and Wild Thing.
In our last fight with the Steel Avenger, they put up quite a bit of a struggle. They gave us a very large crack in the arm, which we just had to have rewelded.
They underestimated the speed of the robot. They thought we were going to be a bit easy, but it's very fast and manoeuvrable, and I think we're in with a good chance now.
From Hereford and seeded number 22, X-Terminator.
Exterminator, couple of motors, aluminum shell, 25-mile-an-hour top speed. He's quick, he's powerful, and he's got a scoop to boot.
Hi, we're Team Exterminator, through to the semi-finals. We took out Arnold and Behemoth in our first round. We've had to make some adjustments to get through to the semi-finals. First being our flipper device, we've increased the foot size to catch hold of them better. Secondly will be the side skirt, we've had to modify due to a bit of damage.
And thirdly, we've added the hoop on the top to help us in our self-right, and we're ready for Wild Thing.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there is Wild Thing with the Addams family, Nick at the controls. And Exterminator with Marlon Pritchard at the controls and Paul Lewis and Simon Baldwin. Well, in previous battles, Exterminator didn't have the width on that lifting arm to do any serious damage, but definitely had the pushing power, which he's showing right now as he pushes Wild Thing into the corner patrol zone of Sir Kill-A-Lot, and Sir Kill-A-Lot lets him out. Well, that was a miracle. Something flew off. Who did it belong to? Is that a piece of Kill-A-Lot? Looks like a chest plate. Wow. Hardly anybody tears that bot up. He's 3 times the weight of anybody else in the arena. And now Wild Thing puts Exterminator into Shunt's corner patrol zone. Wow. They better stay out of the corners if they want this battle to go to the end. And now Wild Thing puts him into Dead Metal's corner. Wow, they're just going around visiting all the house spots in this battle as Dead Metal buries that saw into Exterminator. Exterminator looks lost in the corner, doesn't know what's going on. Dead Metal gets out of the way, Wild Thing heads up, and underneath Exterminator, oh, this could be all over for the Exterminator crew. Look at that, Wild Thing, great driving skill. Just put Exterminator upside down, and in the wrong place at the wrong time. They can't self-right as Sergeant Bash comes in, and Dead Metal comes in, who owns that corner patrol zone, and shut down with the axe. Well, it's all over for the Exterminator crew. They have definitely been exterminated. As the pit drops down, we know what time it is, and the audience knows what time it is. Question is, will there be anything left of Exterminator to get him to the middle of the arena? Kill-A-Lot wants revenge after losing that breastplate. Kill-A-Lot's got him in the clinches. Well, Exterminator looked like they had everything they needed to win this, but looks aren't everything as they go down. Wild Thing goes through. And the 4 left for round 2 are Stinger, Panic Attack, Hypno-Disc, and Wild Thing.
Robot Wars is roaring to the finals, and the action continues right after this break.
Welcome back to Robot Wars, where you would have seen Mousetrap get dispatched, spawn a Scutter put out of its misery, Splinter got taken apart piece by piece, and Exterminator was exterminated with a little help from the Housebots, who showed no mercy by putting him in the pits. Which leaves us with 4 bots, Hypno-Disc and Wild Thing, Stinger and Panic Attack. Only 2 can go through to the finals.
Stand by.
There is Stinger, and Team Stinger ready to bury the hatchet. And Panic Attack with the awesome Kim Davies at the controls. Well, we'll have plenty of strategy in this round. You can bet on it. These guys don't want to go out easy, that's for sure. A lot of Stinger fans in the crowd. Panic Attack on the offense, pushing Stinger back. Stinger's trying to wind up and get a little bit of damage straight into the side of Panic Attack. But Panic Attack's got another idea. Panic Attack puts Stinger right up against the rails. They both know whoever goes through goes to the finals out of this round, so they're fighting for everything. As Panic Attack is pushing Stinger straight into Matilda's corner patrol zone and actually goes in himself. While Panic Attack is stuck in the corner, Stinger's trying to keep him there, and Matilda just doesn't know who to go for first. There's a minimal amount of damage here between these 2 bots, which means it might have to go down to a judge's decision, which would be an awful shame to have to choose between these 2 bots. Panic Attack has definitely been on the aggressive motion more times than Stinger in this bout, so that may be the decider. As the clock counts down, Stinger just rolls over any obstacle. Wow, this will be a tough one. I bet I know who Kim Davies wants. Well, while the judges decide, let's pick apart and see who had the advantage here. It was a tight one. Stinger definitely had some spinning going on there, and he pounded that hammer more than a few times. And the judges go for Stinger. Ah, Panic Attack is out of there. Next up, Hypno-Disc and Wild Thing.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there is Hypno-Disc with that awesome spinning blade. And the Rose family up in the box. And Wild Thing, controlled by the Addams family.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go for the last bout of semifinal 2. Wild Thing on the chase. Hypno-Disc trying to size up the opposition and gets a little bit high-sided in the process. Wild Thing with that lifting arm straight up, and look at that pivot move on the back of that. Hypno-Disc just got a piece of Wild Thing and spun him around like a whirly bird. Hypno-Disc is low to the ground, great design, super structure on the shell. And just look at Hypno-Disc go around and hit the rear wheel of Wild Thing, as Wild Thing pushes Hypno-Disc right into Dead Metal. And Dead Metal comes down with the clamping pincers, and he may just have to bury that saw. Oh, Hypno-Disc gets lucky and backs out of it. Wild Thing's all bent out of shape with one of those wheels, completely out of alignment, but it's not enough to keep him from putting Hypno-Disc up against the rail. Ho-ho! Hypno-Disc has found a serious competitor. Nobody's gotten this close to Hypno-Disc in this semi, that's for sure. As RefBot comes out to separate them. Wow, another judge's decision. Well, Hypno-Disc definitely dished out the damage to Wild Thing from early on in that round. That may be a contributing factor. Just look at the shell peel away from Wild Thing. But then they had a little chance to drop Hypno-Disc into the corner and then up against the rails. And the judges let Hypno-Disc through by the skin of its teeth.
Our finals are set. Chaos 2, Stinger, Hypno-Disc, and Pussycat will square off for all the marbles. An entire season has narrowed the competition to the final 4. Who will be crowned the grand champion? Join me, your host, Joni, and find out next time only on Robot Wars Grand Champions.
Welcome to Robot Wars Grand Champions, where it's final time. We're down to the final 4 bots. All of them will be fighting it out today to find out who's going to be crowned the Robot Wars Grand Champion.
We began with 96